Let's go ahead and begin. Today is day 6. Topic for today is workspaces. I'll be covering workspaces today. Yesterday, what we have covered? We have covered state commands like list, show, move, remove, import, pull, push. So we have covered these state commands yesterday, and we have done labs on this. Today we'll go ahead and begin with workspaces. What is workspace? So what is workspace? So when you have to maintain multiple state files, we use this workspace. Okay, and think of it like same code you are using and different environments you have to maintain, and each with a different state we have to maintain. So during that time, we use this workspace, and your .tf files stay the same, but each workspace store its own Terraform state. So resources don't clash. Some important points to remember. So when you use workspace, there will be a default workspace exist for every time we have done so many labs. So when you run one command like Terraform workspace list, it shows the default workspace. Okay, default workspace exists, and every Terraform project starts with a workspace name default. That is the first point. And second point is each workspace has its own state. Workspace is equal to isolated state files. So workspaces will help us to isolate the state files. Resources created in each workspace are independent. So each resources created in each workspace. So when you are using workspace like dev or test or stage or prod, so each resource created from these workspace are independent. So here in workspace, we use the same code, but the different values. Like you can use variables with workspace name environment equal to terraform.workspace. So this is something you can declare inside our Terraform code. So when you say environment equal to terraform.workspace, that workspace name will be taken and you can reuse that as a variable inside the Terraform code. Environment equal to terraform.workspace. And workspaces are not for everything. Where do we use these workspaces? Especially these are good for small and medium scale environments. Small and medium scale environments, we use the workspaces. I've seen some of my friends, they are using workspaces, but in my project in Optum, we are not using workspaces because our project and the architecture and we are using multiple resources. So that's the reason. So the architects of Terraform, they decided not to go with workspaces. So here the point says that it is good when you are using it for small and medium scale environments. For large organizations, use separate folders plus pipelines, not workspaces. So it says use separate folders and pipelines, not workspaces. That means we maintain separate Terraform state files in different storage accounts, and we use backend config files for each one of the environment. You will understand it clearly in the lab how when you use these workspaces, how this Terraform will create these state files. Okay, last few points to understand is the commands. There are 5 commands in Workspace. The first command is list, Terraform workspace list. So it shows existing workspaces. It shows existing workspaces, and star marks the active one. So asterisk, if you see asterisk on in front of any workspace, that means that is the active workspace where you are working on. Second command is create a new workspace. How do you create a new workspace? Using this command, Terraform workspace, new dev. So this here we are trying to create a new workspace with the name dev. So this creates a workspace named dev and switches into it. The third command is select or switch workspace. So Terraform workspace, select dev. So when you are in a different workspace and you want to switch to some other workspace, like you are on a test workspace, now you want to switch to a dev workspace, so you can use this command, Terraform workspace, select dev. So this will switch you to dev workspace from other workspace. The fourth command, this will show you the current workspace. Terraform workspace show. So shows current workspace. Fifth is a delete a workspace. So this we use when you want to delete a workspace. Terraform workspace space delete space dev. So this will delete dev workspace here. And we need to make sure that the infra is deleted before you delete the workspace. These are some commands which we use when we have workspaces in our environment. Uh, so let's go ahead and begin with lab. Okay, so this is my lab for workspace. I have uh, these files inside it. This is a folder KB. This folder, I just have some uh, concepts related to workspace, which I just showed you. So this I have committed to the Git repo. But these are the files which I'm using for labs. The first one is dev.tf-vars, and I also have prod.tf-vars, where I've kept my variable values here and main.tf. So for example, I have taken only one resource here, and that is a resource group. I'm trying to create a resource group here, providers.tf, where I'm passing my um, Azure provider and also the authentication details here. Variable.tf. So I have these variables RG name and location, which I am trying to pass to main.tf. Okay, let's see this. So generally we'll start with Terraform init to initiate this folder. Let's do that first. So I have initialized this folder now. And let's validate the code. So it says the configuration is valid. Now let's see. I said we have one default workspace, right? So let's see what is the default workspace, whether we have it or not. So you can see when you run this command, Terraform Workspace space list, it will show all the workspaces you have. So by default, there will be one workspace that is default. So which we are able to see now. So far, we have not created any workspaces or did not run any of the workspace commands. I just ran the first workspace command, that is Terraform Workspace list. It has listed a default workspace. So the takeaway is that by default, there will be a workspace with the name default. The next command is creating a new workspace. So this is the command. This will create a new workspace with the name dev. So when I run this Terraform Workspace new space dev, so created and switched to dev workspace. Now let me run list to check. So now you can see earlier it has shown only default and asterisk was in front of that, but now it has created a new workspace dev and it has switched to dev workspace. And you can see like this as well, Terraform Workspace show, that will show you the active workspace or the workspace which you are on. The next command, so now I don't need to select this workspace now. If you want to switch, you use this command. I'm already on dev workspace. Now I will create a new workspace, prod workspace. So this is the command for that. Okay, Terraform has now created a prod workspace and switched to it. Let's see which workspace we are on. It is a prod workspace. If you want to see the list, so this is the command, and you can see asterisk in front of prod. That means you're on the prod workspace. Now I want to go ahead and create few resources on dev workspace. How can I do that? Right now I'm on prod workspace, but I want to create the resources on dev workspace, which is a very new environment. The first thing you need to do is you need to switch to the dev workspace. How we can switch? By selecting the workspace dev. So this is the command. So Terraform Workspace, select dev. So now it has switched to workspace dev. So I want to double check. One way is you can run Terraform Workspace. Sure. So you're on dev now. And I will go ahead and run few commands for creating resources on dev. I will run first Terraform. I'll go ahead and apply because this is only one resource. I'll use this var-file. You see this file, dev.tf which is here. It has these two values. RG name is techlines dev RG and location is RG. So when I go ahead and run this Terraform apply -var-file space the dev tf this is the input I'm passing for apply. So the expectation is that it should go ahead and create a RG resource group, and also it should maintain a, a state file for dev. Let's see that. So as soon as I ran it, you can see a new folder has been created here, terraform.tfstate.d. Okay, I'll press S here. We'll wait till this command completes. There is only one resource we are creating, so it should be, I'm expecting it should be faster. So this .terraform and .terraform.log.hcl, these two will be created during Terraform initialization, which we have seen in the first class, where uh, where we came across this command Terraform init. But this one is very new to us, and which is created just now when we started using workspaces. Okay, this command is now complete. Now let me open this and see. See, we can see there are two folders, dev and prod. Okay, and we have what all workspaces we have. Let me run this command terraform stay workspace list. There are two environments apart from default. So those two environments or workspaces folders are created under this tf state. And I just ran terraform apply for dev tf not for prod. So let's see what is inside. Inside prod, we don't have anything. That means no tf state file. But whereas for dev, I can see a tf state file has been created. That is because I went ahead and ran this apply command for dev workspace. Now let me do same for prod environment. I'll switch to prod workspace. How I can switch? By using this command terraform workspace select prod. So I went ahead and I ran that. You can see switch it to workspace prod. Then I will run this command. This will go ahead and apply. and we'll create resources for prod. You can see a TF state file is getting created here. This command is now complete, and right now you can see there is a TF state file inside prod, and it has details of RG resource. So the takeaway is that when you use workspaces, Terraform will create separate TF states for each of the workspaces. And how we maintain them, for dev, we create dev environment, we create a dev workspace. For prod, we create a prod workspace. And it is easy for us to understand, okay, this workspace is for dev environment. Okay, this workspace is for prod environment. And we also make sure the variables which we are passing as inputs to these workspaces are related to that environment. Okay, right now how I maintain, so dev.tfvars. So this has the dev related variables which I am passing on. And prod tfvars. This has prod related variables. And I'm passing that to main.tf, and I'm able to create the dev and prod environments and separate tf state files. So far till yesterday, we have seen only a single state file, but today we are seeing multiple environments and multiple state files. Any questions so far?
No, Ramesh.
Okay, let me go ahead and ask few questions. I'm on a prod workspace. I want to switch to a dev workspace. What is the command I need to use?
Select the environment name. Terraform select workspace dev.
Select dev. Okay, correct. And next question is, I I want to check on which workspace I am on. There are two ways how I can check.
Terraform Workspace show and Terraform Workspace list.
Okay. So when I run this Terraform workspace list, how I can know? It will list all the
Uh,
environments, right?
yeah.
All the workspaces.
It will, suppose if it lists like three environments, yeah, for one of the
Always
environments,
star
that
in front of
asterisk
it.
symbol will be there.
Super. Yeah. How can I create a new workspace? Like I right now I created dev and prod in this lab. I want to create a test workspace. How can I create?
Terraform Workspace new test.
Super. So that will create, and will it so that will create test environment, test workspace. Will
And
it? Do I need to manually switch to
no,
that?
no, like after creating it will switch to that whatever we.
Okay. Okay. So somebody is running Terraform select test after creating the environment. What do you suggest them? So it's not required, right? So there is no need to run that select command because it automatically switches to
Yeah,
that environment.
right.
And so if it is a large enterprise, and do I need to go ahead and use workspaces or not?
No,
No.
Okay. How many of you are using workspaces? I mean, if you are working on Terraform in your organization, are you using workspaces? Srinivas, anyone?
We are not using Workspace. We are using environment specific folders.
Okay, environment specific folders. And you are maintaining different resource groups. And are you
Yeah,
using Azure blobs in the backend or S3 buckets?
Azure only.
Azure only. Okay.
We are in Azure only. Me, Mahinder, and Hena are colleagues here.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I know. So I know that you are using Terraform. So just wanted to understand if you are using workspaces. And if not, how you are managing. Can you give some more input so that other participants also can understand how you are managing your TF states?
Like in Azure, they have been stored. So whenever we try to change anything, like suppose if it gets locked, we are going into the portal and modifying the state there, and then we are using it. Uh, that is one aspect, and yeah, each environment is having one specific state file.
Okay. Yeah, great. Even we are not using workspaces, but this is one concept I have come across. Even people will ask questions on workspaces. Yeah, we'll go ahead and see the next lab part where we'll try to destroy these workspaces or delete these workspaces. Anyone has any questions before I go ahead?
In the real time, if you are using a workspace, right, it is segregated by the environment and which is having its own like Azure resources or like AWS resources. What's the whole concept of your workspace being running on, right?
Correct. So
Uh,
generally, um, so dev environment, test or stage, right? These for these non-prod environments, we have the same configuration of the resources. You are
mm,
creating the key vault or you are creating app services, storage account, Azure Container Registries. Okay, what
mhm,
happens? The config file remains same. Only thing is you are creating different environments, means each environment will be having different resources.
mhm.
You are just mirroring dev environment to test and test to stage, like that you are mirroring. But the names should be also unique, right? So Terraform
To
will help us here and also help us, workspaces will help us to maintain tough, separate state files.
okay. And to make sure everything is in consistency, like all the environments have the same configuration, right?
Exactly.
Oh, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have another question.
Yeah.
For
Good.
example, here, so each environment is created in a single subscription, right?
Yes.
In providers, we configured only one subscription. So, but in enterprise, I think some organizations they'll have their different subscriptions for different environments.
Correct. Yeah.
So in that case, these providers can be defined in a workspace wise, or do we will be having only one provider and we link up this workspace? How we can define that?
So it's a really a good question. In enterprise or in organization, how they do. So right now I have hard coded these values here. If you see my screen,
Right.
go to providers. I'll close this one. I'll show you this. I
Yeah, we
hard
have
coded
hard
these
coded
well.
the client ID secrets and everything.
Yeah, correct. So we don't keep these values here.
Right.
We use CI/CD pipelines, continuous integration,
So
continuous deployment tools.
that means like a through Azure, like a Azure DevOps or GitHub Actions or some other tools, right?
Yeah. So,
Jenkins, rules.
yeah. So there we get an option called secrets. So you can maintain your secrets in GitHub Actions if you are using GitHub Actions, or the best way is you can use HashiCorp Vault. Okay, there you can keep your secrets and you can read. Now, your scenario is that you have multiple subscription, right?
Right.
So there are two things when it comes to automation. Okay, one is infrastructure automation. That is IAC, infrastructure as a code. Okay.
Mhm.
The second part of our work is DA. One is IAC, the other one is DA. What is DA? Deployment automation. Deployment automation will have um, like the shell scripting or PowerShell or Python scripting, where it will be passing inputs, the logic we will be keeping, and we'll say, okay, I'm using a separate subscription, and I can also keep a loop there, separate subscription. Then I will call this IAC code. So it creates for my first subscription. Then it goes and create for my second subscription. So the DA, the deployment automation, is calling my IAC to create multiple environments in multiple subscriptions. So where the IAC cannot do few of the automations, we go with the DA, deployment automation, using the shell script, Python, or PowerShell. So
Okay.
that is a little complex thing, but we'll be using the DA, deployment automation.
Are you planning to show these like how we configure continuous integration or continuous deployment at the end of the sessions or something like that? Like how we need to integrate with the DevOps or Azure GitHubs or something like that?
Suresh, as of now, this is a small series, like 10 days of program. Right now, we are covering basics, but I have planned to cover GitHub Actions maybe after a month or like that. So during
Okay.
that time, maybe right now I'm just covering up the basics. May not be, going to that because people will get confused.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just a question. Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, no problem, Suresh.
Ramesh, Ramesh, a small question on that deployment
Yeah, yeah.
automation.
Hmm.
Like, does the Ansible, Chef, and Puppet, all these are like configuration management tools, right?
Yeah,
Does those
yeah.
come under the deployment management too, or it's like a different subject, not related to the deployment automation?
I think Ansible people will be using for configuration management. I think they can also automate the scenario which Suresh has asked. I never
Mm-hmm.
worked on Ansible, so I've been using
Oh,
PowerShell a lot. So
okay. Okay.
we had a similar scenario earlier. We used to have a 110 tenants like clients, and we used
Mm-hmm.
to build the infrastructure for them. Okay, during that time, we used to run this DA and IAC. So we have different repos, one for IAC, one for deployment automation. So this DA used to call this IAC during the new environment builds. So that's
Okay.
how I know, how this works.
Got it. Okay.
But
Thank you very much.
how it works in Ansible, I'm not sure because I don't have any experience on Ansible. If somebody has any experience on Ansible, feel free to pitch in and give inputs. Ansible or any other configuration management tool. Okay, I think
I'm gonna do a research on that. No worries.
yeah. Okay,
Uh,
we'll
Thank you.
we'll continue with next part. So Terraform will be continuing with delete part of workspace. So the main point when we go ahead with delete is that first you need to destroy those environments. Then only you need to delete those workspaces. So I will go ahead and first destroy this one, prod. Let me check on which workspace I'm on. I'm on prod. Let me check. It will destroy that, or do I need to switch? It is asking my inputs. So now it is deleting prod TF ads. this prod environment. Refresh. I have two resource groups which got created during this lab. One is a prod resource group and dev resource group. Right now I'm trying to delete this prod RG. So on prod, then, so this, I wantedly kept this command here just to show you that if you are on the same workspace, you won't be able to delete that workspace. So right now, I want to delete prod workspace. I am on prod workspace. So you cannot delete the same workspace if you're on it. So you need to switch to other workspace. I'm switching to other workspace. Select dev. Then I switch it to the dev workspace. Then I'll go ahead and delete this workspace now. So I'm able to delete it now after I switch to the other workspace, delete a workspace prod. Similarly, we'll run the commands for dev. Switch to prod RG is deleted. And so with this Terraform destroy var file dev.tf vars, I'm expecting that the dev RG should be also deleted.
Ashok, if you can go on a mode, please.
Terraform workspace, select dev. So right now I want to delete the dev workspace. So I will switch to default workspace. I switch it to default workspace. Then let me check. Okay, so I can see I'm on default workspace. I'm now deleting dev workspace. Okay, I can see what all the workspaces left here. So this is how we can clear up the workspace, clean up the things after you do your labs. So destroy to delete the resources and use the delete command workspace delete for deleting the workspace. So I have a few questions for you. I am on dev workspace now, and I want to delete a prod workspace. Will I be able to do delete?
Yes.
Yeah. And if I am on the same workspace, like I'm on dev workspace and I try to delete the dev workspace now by running the command delete workspace delete, will it allow or not?
We need to
No,
switch.
it will not allow.
So if you are on the same workspace, it won't allow you to delete. You have to switch to other workspace. A tricky question. So you are left with the default workspace, right? Can you delete that default workspace?
No, we
I
can't.
think so.
And you have three workspaces, dev, prod, and default. And you are on dev workspace. Can we delete default workspace?
No, but default workspace we can't delete it. The only workspace which we create them can be deleted.
Super. Yep. So these are the labs. This is the lab for workspace. And that's it for today. If Are there any questions before we wind up for the day? Okay. I take it as no. So the summary for the day is that we have covered. We have covered what is a workspace. We have seen some important points about workspaces, and we have gone through all the 5 workspace commands: list, new, select, show, and delete. All these 5 workspace commands we have seen, and we have also done the labs. Okay. Tomorrow's topic is modules.